Hey, my name is Mariann Letnes and I'm working at the teacher education at NTNU. Today I'm going to talk about Selander and Kress's model of learning design sequences in formal settings. Designs for learning has been elaborated in the crossroad between social semiotics and Vygotskian-inspired sociocultural theories. Social semiotics highlights communicative processes and especially the role of sign making and sign interpretation. What is not prevalent in this approach is the social framing outside the situation itself, with some exceptions. Sociocultural theories, on the other hand, have much more to say about institutional framing and the role of artifacts in communication and learning. Designs for learning is an elaboration of theoretical approaches of both sociocultural framing and sign-making practices. The starting point, the situation, is embedded in a formal learning situation inside school context learning. In school context is based on purpose-defined curricula, even more clearly defined institutional norms, and also many prefabricated learning resources, textbooks, exercise books, etc. As institutional boundaries in school and university, state documents form the basis of the various learning situations that take place, both as a premise supplier for the potential resources, such as the design of room, which materials should be available, and so on. In addition, central documents in the form of curricula provide guidance for the content of everyday life in the students within the various institutions. Here the individual institutions' interpretation and operationalization of the relevant plans and guidelines come into play. As one of the bases of the same plans, widely different cultures and patterns can arise. The staging of learning sequence takes place within the university institutional patterns, where didactic goals serve as a guide for the teaching and learning progress, and can also be the basis for pedagogical reflections. Relevant contributors or resource into this learning space is the students' positioning, interest, and the way they socially interact. In the same way, the teacher's positioning and the way of interacting is also central when it comes to the student's learning. In this space, the teacher must design and stage the student learning process. The teacher brings a subject matter into this learning room and stage the subject matter, for instance, the World War II, using various selected resources, for example, a textbook or a YouTube film, explaining, for instance, the main reason why World War II began. So, with this, the teacher are staging the subject matters for the student and, in a way, transforming the subject matter for the students. On the other hand, for the students to learn this subject, the teacher must design a way for the student to actively process and deal with the subject in order to understand and make meaning of it. In this processing, the student can, for instance, write a text, make a podcast or an animation film, or perhaps even dance to represent their understanding of the subject that is up for discussion and processing. This is the first transformation cycle. The second transformation cycle is when the students get the opportunity to present their representation of their understanding of the subject at play for fellow students and their teachers. With this representation, a discussion and meta-reflection about their understanding can take place. The student can both reflect upon their understanding, their meaning-making, and their learning process, and the representation can be graded by the teacher as well. When it comes to assessment, the teacher can both assess the work during the whole process in what we call formative assessment. Furthermore, the product that the student has made can be assessed with grades when they are ready as representations for the student's understanding. In many ways, this is what we can recognize as signs of learning, both during the process and by the representations that the students has made. The model can be used both for planning, teaching and learning, and for analyzing students' learning processes. So I hope this model can be useful to you. Thank you for watching.